Alright everybody, I've been getting some questions from fans about how a blind person cooks a meal. Today I'm going to show you how I make a roast. I have a couple of potatoes here that I've already chopped because I wanted to test out some knives before I went on the video to see which one's cut really good. So here we go. I'm going to be chopping these vegetables here. The way I chop is I put the knife right next to my finger. Now you're probably freaking out thinking, oh my god, this blind girl's going to cut herself. Not really. You have enough sense to know where to stop and not chop off your finger. You use your finger as your guide. You do this. No struggle whatsoever. Just chopping these vegetables. Dicing them in a sense so they're good for this roast. Oops. Just went ahead and knocked it off the plate, but I found it because I heard where it went. So that's how we do that. Kind of glad you got a chance to see that happen. Because you're probably wondering, well, how do you deal with if you spill something or you have a little bit of a disaster? Well, that's sort of an example. I heard where it went, so. And since we can't see, we pay more attention to feel. So we're a lot more careful. We're not going to chop off our fingers and do anything careless that people might believe we'll do. When accidents do happen when people cook, it happens to even people who can see. I've burnt myself a few times or whatever, but we do tend to be more careful and pay more attention to feel, because that's our mode of seeing. Chopping these up in little squares because it'll make sense. They'll cook through a little better in the roast. Alright, so what I do when I'm done chopping the potato, I get the roast bag and we're going to drop the vegetables in. But before I do that, I'm going to open the bag and I'm going to take the roast and put it in there. Got the bag open here because I'm going to be putting the vegetables around the roast. This is a pork roast. It's not huge because there's not 1,000 people eating. I don't like wasting money. But this is a pork roast in my hand. It's going into the bag and it's going into the pot. I mean the casserole dish. Whatever you want to call that thing. And I'm taking these potatoes, I'm going to drop them in. So there you see that. Now I'm getting another potato. This is a little big, so I gotta, there we go, the knife just chopped it up. Chopping these bad boys smaller. These are a little too big to be biting on. So dice them up a little smaller here. I've been cooking for approximately 20 years, so really, this is nothing. I've been cooking for a while. And I love cooking too, especially if I'm going to entertain people. Now when it's just me, I don't really care to cook so much. I'm lazy, I'll admit that. But other people are going to enjoy my food and I am totally happy to cook. Alright. Wow, that was pretty quick. There goes that potato. Drop it in with the roast. I keep my vegetables to chop on a separate plate. And I use one plate just for chopping it because I don't like stuff in my way. It irks me. I like to keep it a little clutter-free so accidents don't happen. Some people use a cutting board. I don't. I use a plate. It does just as good. I don't really need a cutting board. Everybody has methods that work for them. This happens to be mine. There we go. Nice and diced. See how I'm doing my trick here? I'm using the hand to guide the knife. I'm trying to dice these things up as evenly as possible so they cook. That's the trick. When you're cooking potatoes, you want to have your pieces even as much as possible so they all cook the same, because you don't want potatoes to be hard and crunchy. You want to, I mean, it's not going to be perfect, but you at least want to try to get it close to as possible, so that way your meal comes out good. Yeah, occasionally you'll have pieces that are going to be slightly smaller than the others, but you don't want it to be too much of a difference. I think this is going to be all the potatoes I need. I got out a little more than I thought, but yeah, this is perfect for this size roast here. Now I also have baby carrots. Some people say, oh, you should chop these, but I'm not going to do that. It's going to be a waste of my time. They're small enough. What I'm going to do is I'm going to dump it in. I'm taking all the other potatoes. Yeah, I don't need to really chop these. I'm just going to put them into the bag. Oops. That way I don't waste a lot of time. I mean, these are little, so I don't really think you should have to cut them up. But some people choose to make that happen. You just have like little teeny carrot pieces, but I don't usually do that. And after I put the vegetables on and around the roast, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to get my juice. And the way I do that is I get 2 cups of water to cover everything, and then I put onion soup mix in the roast. That gives it its flavor. That's a shortcut. Some people choose to season the roast with all sorts of spices. I don't really feel the need to do all that. This is just keeping it quick and easy. What I'm doing now is I'm moving the bag around so I can get the vegetables all situated around the roast. Oh, it's coming out of the pan. Let's fix that. There we go. I'm doing that, and I'm trying to get it a little even. There you have it. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my cup, and I'm going to do my water. 1 and 2. Now, I get the vegetable soup mix, open it up.